As a murder mystery franchise, Danganronpa has a ton of mystery, and even after 3 games and a spin-off, there are a ton of fan-answered, "Wait a minute, I already made a video opening like this." Anyway, recently, there's been a heated discussion in the Danganronpa fandom involving some of its characters, specifically the girls, and it's not what you expect. In most media, including Japanese media, there are usually instances of some female characters wearing pants, but for Danganronpa, that's not the case. Almost all of Danganronpa's cast wear skirts, and there's only one character in the mainline series who wears shorts or pants, Aoi Asahina. Sure, there are more in the spin-offs, but even then it's a rare sight. Why does this game series have such a strange aversion to girls wearing pants? The answer might shock you. Many people have wondered why Danganronpa has so few girls wearing pants when girls wearing pants is completely normal, even in Japan. Many have suspected that the character designer is against women wearing pants, but I don't think that's the case. There's a very good reason why almost all Danganronpa girls wear skirts. In case you forgot, all the Danganronpa characters from the trilogy are students at Hope's Peak Academy, a prestigious high school, but a high school at the end of the day. In Japan, a vast majority of high schoolers require uniforms, far more than in the West. And if you look closely, you can see that almost all of the girls are wearing a modified version of a specific high school girl's uniform. The only exceptions to this rule are the aforementioned Aoi Asahina, who is wearing a sports jersey, fitting of her talent, and Iyoko, who is wearing a kimono. However, some might say that this is a double standard, as the girls are wearing school uniforms, but not the boys. But that's actually not the case. A ton of male characters' outfits are based on school uniforms too, almost as many as the girls. In order to prove this, let's go over the male characters in the series to see whether or not their outfits are based on school uniforms. Let's start with Makoto. At first it looks like Makoto is just wearing a casual outfit, but if you look closely, he's wearing a school blazer over his hoodie, which are seen on winter uniforms. Byakuya has a similar type of school uniform as Makoto, but I'm not sure if his crossbow tie is common on school uniforms or not. Hifumi also has a type of winter-styled uniform, but I don't really know the name to it. If you know, please let me know in the comments. A lot of trigger-happy boys wear a type of uniform called a gakuran, which is most known for its massive collar. Mondo, Taka, and Yasuhiro all have gakurans on their outfits. The only male character that doesn't seem to wear a uniform is Leon, who just seems to wear a typical punk outfit, showing how he doesn't want to be seen as just his ultimate talent. This means that the number of boys and girls that aren't wearing uniforms are the same. However, in Goodbye Despair and V3, the numbers start to get skewed. For Goodbye Despair, Hajime wears the typical summer-style uniform for boys. Fuyuhiko are wearing a blazer type of winter uniform, and Gundam and Nakamaro are wearing gakurans. This means that the male character is not wearing uniforms on Nagito, which I assume is supposed to show how, as someone without talent, he doesn't belong, so he doesn't even bother wearing a uniform, Kazuichi because he's a mechanic, and Teruteru because he's a chef. This makes the ratio of boys to girls not wearing uniforms 3-to-1 this time around, and it gets even more extreme for V3. In V3, Gonta and Kaito are wearing blazer uniforms, while Kibo, Korekyo, and Shuichi are wearing gakurans. The boys not wearing uniforms this time around are Rentaro, since he's mostly absent at Hope's Peak anyway, according to the Ultimate Talent Development Plan, Ryoma, who wouldn't be wearing a uniform as he's currently in prison, and Kokichi, who's wearing a straitjacket for unknown reasons. While the number of male characters not wearing uniforms remains the same in Goodbye Despair, since all the female characters wear a uniform this time around, it feels a lot more skewed. As for more proof, the reason why so many girls wear skirts is because they're in school. The other Danganronpa characters wearing pants, Hiroko, Yui, and Ruruka, aren't in high school, or aren't attending school right now, so they have no need to wear a uniform. There were 2 other unused female characters in Ultra Despair Girls who wore pants as well, Chihira's mother and Sayaka's little sister, so it does show that the character designer can design characters with pants. It's just that the Danganronpa cast is mostly wearing school uniforms. Now, for the most part, I think every single one of these characters works well in a skirt, but there is one particular girl that I think should not be wearing a skirt, and should be wearing pants instead, or at least, they look like pants. That person is Tenko Chabashira. I generally adore the designs of Danganronpa, and while I do enjoy some aspects of Tenko's design, her outfit has to be one of the very few that I'd actually say I dislike. Even aside from the skirt bit, I feel like her colors are too monotonous, being almost entirely blue with small amounts of white. I also feel like it's incredibly out of character for Tenko to expose her stomach like that. She was to repel men, not attract them. But the main reason I don't like her uniform is that it doesn't feel very Aikido-ish. Whenever a Danganronpa girl is in uniform, it's because they're wearing another outfit that matches their talent much more. And I feel like Tenko meets this criteria by wearing a hamaka, a type of uniform used in Aikido. So I came up with a redesign for her, while keeping the original vision of her design. I tried to make the hamaka look like a long skirt if she puts her legs together, reflecting her old-fashioned girly taste while maintaining her Aikido tradition. In a way, this uniform reflects her neo-Aikido, remixing the classic into something entirely new. I kept the frills, which not only shows off her girly side again, but it's also stated that she uses these frills to attract girls, so I had to keep it. I swapped the blue with white and vice versa for the upper half of her uniform to add visual diversity, and I flipped the color around because, even in women, this is how the kimono in a hamaka is worn. So that's the end of this video. I wanted to make something to pass the time as I work on scripts and other videos. What are your thoughts on my opinions? Let me know in the comments. As always, I'll see you in the unforeseeable future. Bye!